Hi, my name is Angelina Antioco, and my special topics presentation is on concussions. So, what are concussions? Concussions are a traumatic brain injury. They are most common head injury in sports. The most common sports that concussions occur in are soccer and football. There are three different grades of concussions. Grade 1 is when the symptoms last around 15 minutes and you don't lose consciousness. Grade 2 is when the symptoms last longer than 15 minutes, but you still do not lose consciousness. Grade 3 concussions are the more severe ones, where the person does lose consciousness, whether it be for about a few seconds or for a few minutes. So this is a diagram of what happens during a concussion. The left side of the picture shows the brain hitting the skull and bouncing back. And then the right side of the image, it shows what part of the brain was affected by the concussion. So let me just move myself out of the way here. So long-term effects of concussions include cognitive disorders and hearing impairments, but it all depends on how severe the TBI is, depending if it's a grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3. Some symptoms of cognitive impairments include headaches, fatigue, depression, anxiety, irritability, and as well as impaired cognitive function. So this is a study that was done on the effects of long-term effects of sports-related concussions. This study was, there were scientists who took different assessments, cognitive data, and also did a study population to see how many people were affected by this. The study showed that football players are not at increased risk for a neurodegenerative disorder, and also showed that athletes are not at risk for suicide because of this. Okay, so while with concussions, you are very limited on what you can do during the recovery process. It's definitely not an easy process. You are not allowed to have screens. There are no books, there's no studying, there's no reading, and you have to stay in a dark room. With our lives today, we have a lot of schoolwork that is done on screens, and we do our homework on screens. We even join class with screens. We do technology for everything. So not being able to do this, not being able to use screens will really affect your academics. You also cannot study, and you have to be in a dark room. So you are very limited with your screen time while you have a concussion, which will affect your academics. Also, a lot of college athletes, while in college, are on scholarships, whether it be a full ride, half ride, even a quarter of the payment. College students, if the injury is so severe, they may not be able to continue the sport, and the college will have to revoke that scholarship. If the school does revoke that scholarship, that means that the athlete will no longer continue to play the sport, be a part of that sport, and also they may not even be able to afford to go to school without that scholarship, because college is very expensive depending on where you go. And if you go to a D1 school and you lose that scholarship, most college students won't be able to afford that payment, which leads them to dropping out of school. Regarding mental health after concussion, lots of people also suffer from PTSD because they have a major fear of being hit again. Athletes that suffer from any type of TBI are more likely to have a mental disorder called PTSD. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. This happens because the athletes become terrified of getting injured like that again. And if they get hit like that again, the recovery process can become a lot worse and the concussion can become a lot severe with a lot of detrimental health effects later on in life, like the cognitive disorders that we've discussed before and the hearing impairments that we also discussed before. These are my references. These are where I got all my case studies, where I got all my information from. Yeah, thank you.